Kaizer Chiefs has a lot of problems, and the ultimate problem is obviously the management. But Kickoff has written these 5 things that they think are wrong with Kaizer Chiefs, and I'm going to read them and give my opinions on them, and you're also going to tell me if you agree with these things. Number 1 is, does Johnson know his starting 11? And the answer is no. Everyone is saying no, because how much chopping and changing is he or has he done since joining Kaizer Chiefs for 5 months? Like, we're not talking about his first month that he's experimenting, because when he first came on, he basically played the same players that were playing under Ntsegi. Peterson made a mistake, then he took him out, which was a good decision. Then Uvuma came on, who proved to be one of the most, if not the most important change that Kaizer Chiefs has made in the last 5 months. Because if we look at how many goals were because of clear and obvious goalkeeping errors, there are very few. Because against Chippa, we saw that we can say maybe Bruce should have done better there. But it's not like Peterson, who would fail to clear the ball and then Shalulile wins and he scores the ball, or Peterson fails to handle the ball and then it goes in. There hasn't been any kind of mistakes like that. So besides that obvious change that he made, in every other area in the pitch, he has not been consistent. And just recently this weekend made 7 changes, which I didn't complain about, because I said it's fine for you to make changes if you are trying to communicate to your players that I will make changes if I'm not happy with the team. But then since it didn't have a plan, it came back and beat him in his behind. But that's not the point. The point is Calvin Johnson does not have a starting 11. Which brings us to the second point, which is the lack of fighting spirit or lack of fitness. So that's a question, or lack of fitness. And if I say lack of fitness, everyone is going to say, Vele scorer, that guy, he's so picky, he's not a fitness coach, he's a weightlifter. I know. That's one thing, that's one aspect of this whole thing. But there's another aspect. I saw him in Albertine, so I know he lives around here, or he comes here sometimes, so I don't want to be beaten by that guy. So let's not talk about him. Let's talk about the fact that Chiefs, so far this season, they've only done one game. They've only had one game where they were 1 goal down and they came back and they ended up drawing that game. Every other game where Chiefs is considered first, they end up losing. Like, imagine that. There is no coming back. And well, under Johnson there is, because if you look at Milford, we failed to end up winning the game. Pirates, we were scoring first, but still we ended up losing the game. So all the games under Johnson, all of them, we have only managed to come back in one game and end up winning it. Let's not count the time before Johnson, because we did come back against Sekhukhune and ended up winning the game 2-1. But right now, wait, was it 1-1, 2-1? I'm not sure. The point is, under Johnson, we've only made one comeback, and it wasn't a full comeback because we only drew. So then the question is, what is the problem? Because you can say it's lack of fitness, but man, I've seen players being tired. I've seen players dragging themselves to over the line, players of other teams that are not in a situation as Kaizer Chiefs, and I've seen them doing comebacks. But the Chiefs, like recently, the same Arrows that lost 7-1, just a few days before that, they were 2-1 down, 2-0 down, and they come back and they drew the game 2-2. Do you ever see such a thing with Kaizer Chiefs? Never. And that is a worrying thing, because that means our club does not, or our football, our players do not have a fighting spirit, and that is scary. Basically, they consider goal and then they give up. Number 3 is striker crisis. You know where I stand with this, because they're saying that Chiefs, they don't have a leading marksman, but also that is related to the fact that how can you have a leading marksman if your main marksman, your main striker does not, he only plays once in 3 games. So how is he going to even develop match fitness? How is he going to develop confidence in himself? Because whenever he has been given an opportunity, you can see glimpses with, okay, Uranga, he can be dangerous, but he only plays 30 minutes in this game, and then he comes back 3 games later, so he's not going to be consistent. But then again, even if you take him out of the equation, you look at Abo Dupree, they miss chances for fun, and you're like, man, so what are we doing here? And I've always said this, the problem that we are going to have is that if you don't have a striker coach training Abo Dupree, who sometimes get themselves in very good positions but are not able to finish the chances that they get, because it's like they lack composure. But also at the same time, this point number 3 might be related to point number 2. You cannot have a fighting spirit if you don't have enough hunger. And if you have hunger for winning, that means you are also going to give yourself more time to prepare for games and fight and practice shooting drills, because as you learn how to do them because they are habitual. Because if you are used to dinking the ball over the keeper, when you are 1v1 with the keeper, the only thing that's going to be different in a match situation is the fact that it's the pressure of the game, but the technique is going to be there despite the pressure. That is why you see players like, I think I saw Fabinho, there was that finally Carabao Cup, they were playing against Chelsea as Liverpool. He just dinked the ball in the middle. I'm like, who scores a Panenka in a penalty shootout in a final? Like, you see Abo Cole Palmer, boys like he's like very young, with Chelsea, but he's scoring every penalty. Doesn't matter how much pressure is in each game, because he's used to practicing those things. So if there is not hunger and fighting spirit of let me fight and try to be the best I can be midweek, then we are going to see how bad or how much preparation you do behind the scenes by the things that you do when it comes to match day. Because if you've never practiced something, you're not gonna all of a sudden start doing it on match day. It's never gonna happen. Number 4 is, do Chiefs have match winners? And also this relates to the same thing. But match winners are not just people who will score goals for you, but it's also people who will come in those clutch moments. I was watching in Sundowns. I know people, when I bring up Sundowns, they get irritated. But let's leave Sundowns alone. Let's talk about Arsenal. I hate Arsenal because of their fans. They talk too much. Anyways, I used to love Arsenal, but not favor them, but didn't care. Just like, hey, it's Arsenal, they won, good for them. I'm a Liverpool fan. But the point that I'm making here is that if you watch Arsenal, Abo Gabriel Magalhaes, whatever his name is, you watch them when they make a tackle, they stand up, they punch the air. You see that's match-winning performance right there. I'm going to go out, I might break my leg, but I'm making the tackle. That, if the score is 1-0, it's the 89th minute, and you make the tackle. You have a goalkeeper who's saving. A goalkeeper has proven that he can be a match winner in saving, making crucial saves. But also in the field, do you see everyone else tracking back like a crazy man, sliding across, punching the air, going crazy? Do you see that? Because right now at the back, I literally see Dove, he does that, the fighting spirit he has, Uvuma, he has that, and then you can see Shabalala sometimes, but the rest of them, it's like, yeah. They don't look like people who can go and be like, Eish, we're not doing well, fine, I'll do it myself. And they take the game by their own hands, and they just go out and win the game. We don't have such players. We don't have players who are like, everyone is tired, I'm working extra hard to win for the team. We don't have such players, and that is the problem. And the other thing, number 5, is what happened to Castillo, because he was our match winner. That's the thing that they're saying, number 5. And then I say, what happened to Castillo as our match winner is the same thing that happened to every player who was good before coming to Kaizer Chiefs. Because someone will say, oh no, Castillo is now bad, but everyone else is now bad at Kaizer Chiefs. So which points do you agree with out of the top 5? The number 1 is, does Calvin Johnson know his starting 11? My answer is no. What is yours? Number 2, does Chiefs lack a fighting spirit, or do they just lack fitness, or do they lack both? Do we have a striker crisis? I say we don't have a striker crisis, we have a midfield crisis. Number 4, or the system crisis. Number 4, do Chiefs have match winners? Nope. Number 5, what happened to Castillo? I'm saying the same thing that happened to everyone else. Shout out to Njabulo, shout out to WebKid, and shout out to Uplade. You can also get your own special shout out simply by joining and becoming a member of this channel. It's one of the perks of being a member of the channel. You get priority reply to your comments. You get stickers next to your names, which makes me see that you're a member. Then I can prioritize your responding to your comments. Anyways, it's only 20 rands. It helps me make more videos like this one. So just click join here, or click the link on the description or the link on the comment section, and then it's just easy. It's easy prompts that you follow there. 20 rands per month. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember, equals Alpelumoy.